So you want to grow your online business to 6 figures. Congratulations. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jasmine. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 things that I did to grow my online business to 6 figures. If you did not already know, I have been a full-time entrepreneur for 6 years. I started during COVID, and entrepreneurship was by far the best thing I ever did for myself. So I'm so happy that I took that jump. Now, the very first thing that I did to grow my online business to 6 figures is I post on every single platform, and I have multiple accounts per platform. I am posting all day long. You guys, content is the name of the game. I cannot stress this enough. You need to be on TikTok. You definitely need to be on YouTube. You need to be on Instagram. I am on Threads. I am on X. I am on Facebook. I am everywhere, and I have multiple accounts per platform, okay? Now, there's definitely smarter ways to go about making all this content. Like I have content days, and then my assistant will chop up my videos, and then we'll post them throughout the day on different platforms. So I'll take long form YouTube videos that are like 10 minutes, 5 minutes long. We'll chop them up into like 30-second reels, 20-second reels, 10-second reels, and then we'll post them across platforms. And like I said, I do have content days, so I might be recording content for 4 hours, 5 hours on those content days, and then all of that content is being distributed. For my YouTube channels, I'm posting 2 long-form YouTube videos a day, and then like I said, those videos get chopped down. I also go live, and then I'll chop down those lives. So there's definitely smart ways to go about it, but content is the name of the game, and you have to be on all platforms. You have to be. Now, I do prefer YouTube. I love making long-form YouTube content. I've found that when people see you over and over and over again, even if they weren't really interested in what you were talking about or doing the first few times that they saw you, the fact that they keep seeing you builds curiosity, and then they're more likely to click on your video to figure out what it is you're talking about or what you're doing because you become a familiar face, right? And the more people are familiar with you, the more likely they are to buy from you. And also, people don't buy until they're ready to buy. So they might have saw you on a Monday, maybe they didn't have any money, or they said they would come back because maybe they were busy, but you only post on Monday and you never post it again. Well, that person who was interested in what you were selling, maybe 2 weeks later they have money, but they can't find you because you never posted again. So this is why you have to be top of mind, which means you have to be pushing out a lot of content all day, every day. Like you cannot miss. The second thing that I did to grow my business to 6 figures is I reinvest into my business constantly. So I keep my living expenses low, and whatever my business makes after I pay like my bills, like my rent, my car note, car insurance, health insurance, stuff like that, I reinvest into the business. You guys, as you grow, as you do start building your audience and you're selling your products, you can't be a one-woman show forever. Like at some point you're gonna need help, right? Now, I am big on not hiring help until you absolutely need it, but your goal in business, if you're running an online business, should be content. And all of the back-end stuff that you do, so the posting, captions, maybe responding to comments, creating flyers, whatever it is that your business is, all that back-end stuff, that could be put on someone else, right? Because your sole purpose should be creating content, because content is what's generating leads and what's getting those leads into sales. But if you are hung up on doing all the other stuff too, the editing, the posting, well, then you can't do only content because you're doing other things. So when you do make enough money, when you do start making more money, then you need to start investing back into your business. I can't stress this enough. I also do buy ads. I spend quite a bit of money on ads. So reinvesting into the business, getting more leads, giving other people the tasks that don't necessarily require you to do. And you don't have to hire someone full time. You don't have to put them on payroll. You can hire freelancers if you go on like Fiverr or Upwork, things like that. And you can hire people for specific things. So maybe you create content and you're realizing that you are getting hung up on editing, and editing is taking way too much time. And if you had someone editing your videos, well, then you could create more content to post more across different platforms. Well, then maybe hand that off to someone else, right? Maybe you don't have the time to make your thumbnails, whatever those thumbnails may be, and it's just too time consuming, and you realize that if you didn't spend as much time making the thumbnails, you could make even more content. Well, then hire someone to make your thumbnails, right? You don't have to have a full-time employee with benefits, but you do have to start passing things off to other people. And I will say this, when you do decide to start passing those things off, make sure that you already know exactly how you want them to do the thing. Don't hire someone and you're just like, yeah, figure it out, let me know what you come up with. No, don't do that. I've done that and it doesn't work. You have to be an expert in that thing that you're passing off. You have to know what you want them to do, how much time it takes, and then you need to teach them that. Exactly. Like, so that way they can replicate what you were doing. They are literally there to replace you. Okay. So don't just hire someone and tell them to figure it out unless they're already an expert in the thing. Like maybe your YouTube channel is taking off and you don't really know how to edit better, but you feel like editing better will take your YouTube videos to a whole nother level. Well, then at that point, yeah, you're not an expert at video editing. So you might hire someone to do that. But other things like maybe responding to emails or, just certain things, maybe you have like customer service, stuff like that, and you know how you want people to, how you want to respond to your customers, things like that, well, then you can pass that off to somebody else. But you do have to reinvest into your business. That is critical. And keep your business expenses as low as possible so that you can invest more into the business to make it grow. The last thing that I do to grow my business to 6 figures is I'm constantly learning new things. Okay. Listen, I'm all for, doing what feels right. But a lot of times too, you just don't know everything. And so there's always an easier or smarter way to do things. AI is now taking over. You have to learn AI. You have to figure out how you can implement AI into your business. I took a whole year in 2025 learning AI, learning all about ChatGPT and all the things that it could do, creating GPTs. Like I learned so much in 2025 from AI, and I'm now able to implement that into my online business. You have to be learning. You have to be learning and then executing what you learn. I've talked in other videos how a lot of times we'll get stuck in this watching loop. So we'll watch, but we never implement. You have to implement. Like the things that you do learn, you have to actually do it, okay? You have to take that knowledge that you learned in the YouTube video or the book or whatever, and then you have to apply it to your business, and then you have to give it time to work. You can't create a new offer for your business and then you only give it a month, and if no one bought it, well then you're like, oh, well this sucks, it didn't work. You maybe just didn't give it enough time. Maybe you decide you were gonna start going live to promote your products. That's what I do. And maybe, the first month that you went live, you might have only had like one sale or no sales. So now you're just giving up on it. But you're not allowing time to take time. I always say when you're starting something new and you really believe that it's going to help your business, you have to give it 6 months. You can't just go off of 2 weeks and then write it off as it didn't work. A lot of times we just don't let time take time. 6 months minimum, sometimes even a year. And over time, you will start to see slow progress and you'll get better at the thing that you are implementing. So for instance, when I started going live on TikTok, when I first started, I sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt awkward. People weren't joining or they weren't staying. It sucked. It sucked. But I didn't write it off and say, oh, TikTok live doesn't work for me. I didn't do that. I kept showing up week after week and I started slowly making sales, and now I make a lot of money on TikTok live. So you have to give things time to work before you say that it doesn't work. And you have to be consistent with what it was that you did implement. You can't do it once every other couple of months and then think you're going to get progress in that thing. Absolutely not. You have to let time take time. And if you are thinking of creating new platforms, getting on new platforms and creating new accounts, it's really going to take time. Because when you post your first several YouTube videos, you're probably not going to get no views, probably going to get 0, right? But you have to keep posting them. You might make a new Instagram account and you don't get any views for the first month. You still have to keep posting them. Same with TikTok. Like you just have to keep showing up. You have to allow time to take time, because a lot of times we'll give up too soon And that thing that you gave up on could have been the very thing that took your business from 5K a month to 10K a month or 20K a month. But because you gave up on it, it didn't happen at all. And then you just wasted your time doing it. And what you learned, you just wasted all that time. So let time take time. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Which one of these tips are you going to implement in your online business? I cannot wait to read what you guys had to say. Also, make sure you guys join the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.